Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over my UFL Playoff Predictions. So last week I had a record of 4-0, and that brings my record on the season to 26-14. But both playoff games are on Sunday, so start off with the early game, and that is the USFL Conference Championship game between the Panthers and the Stallions. And we'll have a live watch for this game starting about 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, so I hope to see you guys there. The Panthers, they're 6-4, and they play a Stallions team that's 7-3. And the Stallions, they're seeking their 4th consecutive spring football championship. The Stallions offense, they've been playing very well in their last 5 games, as during that stretch they're scoring 31.8 points per game, and last week they put up 46 points, which was a league high for the season. And the Stallions offense on the season, they're the 2nd best in the UFL, scoring 24.4 points per game. The Stallions passing offense is also quite good, as their 206 passing yards per game ranked 3rd, and quarterback Jamar Smith, he's been great for the Stallions in his 3 starts. Now, it actually hasn't been confirmed that Jamar Smith will get the start for Birmingham, but I would definitely expect him to start. They did activate Matt Corral from IR, but Jamar Smith, he's been the quarterback for the past few weeks, and he's been great, so there's no reason that he should not be their quarterback for this playoff game. But Jamar Smith, in his 3 starts this season, he's completed 65% of his passes for an average of 232 yards per game, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Now, Jamar Smith and the Stallions offense, they match up against a Panthers defense that's pretty good. As the Panthers defense is 4th in the UFL, allowing 19.8 points per game. And the Panthers actually have the best rush defense in the UFL, allowing just 81.1 rushing yards per game. But while the Panthers, they are great at stopping the run, they cannot stop the pass, as they have the worst passing defense in the UFL, allowing 211 passing yards per game. And when these teams met a couple weeks ago back in Week 9, the Panthers really struggled to stop the pass, allowing over 300 passing yards. So I can definitely see Jamar Smith having another big game. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see the Stallions come out offensively and try to have a very pass-first approach, knowing they just torched this team through the air a couple weeks ago, and they've also got the worst pass defense. Now on the flip side, the Panthers offense is also great, as they have the best scoring offense in the UFL, putting up 24.5 points per game. And star quarterback Bryce Perkins is returning from his ankle injury this week, which cost him the final 3 games of the regular season. And Perkins was having a great year before he got hurt, and he was well on his way to being the league MVP. And now that Perkins is back healthy for the Panthers, he makes their offense from already good to elite. Now, the only thing I worry about with Bryce Perkins is he can potentially be a little bit rusty because he hasn't played in a month. But the Panthers offense, they're very balanced. They have a good passing offense with 193 passing yards per game, and they have the 2nd best rushing offense in the UFL, averaging 127 rushing yards per game, and their 15 rushing scores also 2nd best. But the Panthers offense, they face the Stallions defense that's elite. The Stallions, they've got the 2nd best scoring defense in the UFL, allowing just 16.7 points per game, and they're also great at stopping the run, allowing just 92 rushing yards per game. The Stallions, they're also pretty good against the pass, allowing 175 passing yards per game, which ranks 4th. Now, another area where I think this game can be decided is on 3rd down. The Stallions, they've got a great 3rd down offense, converting 46.6% of the time, which is 2nd best in the UFL, and they've been great in their last 2 games, as they've combined to go 20 for 25, and that includes 11 of 13 in Week 9 against the Panthers. But the Stallions' great 3rd down offense against a terrible Panthers 3rd down defense, as the Panthers, they've got the 2nd worst 3rd down defense in the UFL, allowing conversions 44.8% of the time. Now, when these 2 teams met in the regular season, the Stallions, they won both games, winning 21-12 in Week 2 and 26-22 in Week 9. And the Panthers, they've actually never beaten the Stallions in the modern era, as the Stallions are a perfect 7-0 against Michigan. But this is a game I definitely think can go either way, and I had a really tough time picking the winner. But both these teams have great offenses, as they're the top 2 scoring offenses in the UFL, and even though both teams are good defensively, I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game. The Stallions offense, they've been on another level lately, but now that Bryce Perkins is back from Michigan, I think he gives the Panthers the ability to go back and forth offensively. But this is a game that can definitely go either way. I am going to take the Stallions to get the win. I think they're peaking at the right time, especially offensively, and they're at home, plus they seem to have the Panthers' number. So I'm going to take the Stallions to get the win in a great game, 30-26, but this is a game that can definitely go either way. And moving on to the XFL Conference Championship game, that is the Defenders at the Battlehawks. And we will also have a live watch for this game that will start at about 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, so again, I hope to see you guys there. Now, this is the rematch of a game we just saw last week, where the Battlehawks won 13-8, but neither team was taking that game that seriously, as both teams were resting starters. But in their other matchup this season, the Defenders won 27-15, and that game was in St. Louis. but the Defenders' offense, they're great, as they're averaging 22.5 points per game on the season, and they've got the best passing offense, averaging 246 passing yards per game. And quarterback Jordan Teamu, he's been great, and leads the UFL with 17 touchdown passes. Now, Teamu and the Defenders' defense, they match up against the Battlehawks' defense, it's great. The Battlehawks, they've got the best scoring defense in the UFL, allowing just 16.3 points per game, and they're also great against the pass, allowing 163 passing yards per game. The Battlehawks, they're also second best in completion percentage against at 57.6. They've got the second most sacks of any team with 23, and their 9 interceptions are tied for most in the UFL. So this is a very good Battlehawks defense against the pass. And I don't think that's a great matchup for the Defenders. And then if you want to compare both teams and what they do on the ground, the Defenders' offense and Battlehawks' defense are both middle of the pack, nothing too crazy there. Now on the other side, the Battlehawks' offense is also great, as they're scoring 23.1 points per game, which is third best in the UFL, while the Battlehawks' offense is very different than the Defenders' offense. As the Defenders, they want to throw the ball, they've got the best passing offense, but the Battlehawks, they really want to run the ball, and they've got the best rushing offense in the UFL, with 144 rushing yards per game. Now, the Battlehawks' passing offense isn't the greatest, as they're actually second worst in the UFL, though I do think quarterback Max Duggan is trending in the right direction as we head towards the playoffs. In fact, in his last game, he completed 70% of his passes for 133 yards and a touchdown, and that was just in the first half. And the Battlehawks' offense, they face the Defenders' defense is okay. The Defenders' defense, they're definitely not anything too crazy, and they actually give up a lot of points. They're allowing 22.4 points per game, which is third worst, and they're also not the best against the run, as they're allowing 117 rushing yards per game, which ranks 5th, and they're allowing 4.8 yards per carry, which ranks dead last. And the DC pass defense also isn't anything too crazy, in the bottom half of the league. But this is a game that can definitely go either way. The Defenders, they've already beaten the Battlehawks in St. Louis, so I can definitely see them doing it again. Plus, the Battlehawks aren't known for being great in big games. A perfect example of that is last year's playoff loss to the Brahmas. But this is a tough game to predict. I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game, as both teams are very good offensively, but I'm going to take the Battlehawks to get the win. I think their offense finds success against a not great Defenders defense, and I do think the Defenders offense will have some success, but not enough as they match up against a good Battlehawks defense. But I've got the Battlehawks getting their first playoff win in franchise history, and they beat the Defenders by a score of 27-21, who advanced to the UFL Championship game. But those are my UFL playoff predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Be sure to check out the community tab of my channel, where you guys can vote on who you think will win the UFL playoff games. That's all for this video. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.